I hope I'm gonna get this format correct here. I think everybody knows the gist of the game here. You buy a team, you hold a team, you sell a team. So let's get it cracking. You got to choose one. You can only choose one. Buy Auburn, Duke, Iowa State. Mike, we'll start with you.
I think there's just before we start this, there's a quick caveat here, right? I'm thinking about this from like an investment standpoint, right? So all these three teams are at different prices in my mind. Okay,
Sure.
so I think Auburn and Duke are the most likely national championship matchup, but I'm buying Iowa State. Okay,
Okay.
so let's just talk about Iowa State for a second. All right, definite continuity coming back from last year, from a Sweet 16 team, but they hit it out of the park in the portal, man. I mean, you go on down the list, like Joshua Jefferson was 10 a game at St. Mary's. I mean, there are definitely other high major teams that probably wanted him. He fits this role perfectly. Chatfield's a guy that comes off the bench. He was 9-5 at Seattle. Right? How many high major teams were knocking down his door? But he fits a perfect role, being a physical guy, getting offensive rebounds, second chance opportunities. And then Heisey comes off the bench as well. Deshaun Jackson has really fortified that front court, I think, which I don't say wasn't a strength for them last year, but it's definitely better for them this year. And I'm watching that Kansas game, and Kansas is just playing whack-a-mole, right? Because the second you think you've solved something with Iowa State, there's another thing that pops up you got to solve. I mean, Iowa State's one of the top 2-point offenses in the country from an efficiency standpoint. They shoot 34% from two against Kansas, who did a great job, protecting the rim and forcing tough shots. And then you're like, okay, great. Iowa State just ended up shooting 61% from three. And every time you drive, there's someone in the gaps. And I think TJ and that staff deserve so much credit because they've coached their asses off this year, and they've had an answer for so many different things. I'll give one quick example here. Kansas is in drop coverage to start the game, right? They're protecting. They want shots over the top, and the second they go to blitz a ball screen, literally the first time they go to blitz a ball screen, TJ's got an answer for it. We're flashing Joshua Jefferson up. Deshaun Jackson's going to roll to the basket. Now we're going to throw it straight to Jefferson. We got 2-on-1 against KJ Adams. Dump off to Deshaun Jackson. Dunk. Like that type of stuff. And they're just a smart team. Give me the team that plays tough. Give me the team that plays smart. And give me the team that come hell or high water can get 2 feet in the paint. That's why I'm buying Iowa State. But again, I'll make the caveat here with Auburn and Duke. It's, I think, the most likely national championship matchup.
By the way, I'm being told you got to hold and you got to sell the remaining two. So just get us there. Knock us out. Who are you holding? Who are you selling between Auburn and Duke?
I'll hold Duke and I'll sell Auburn. And the only reason I'm selling Auburn is because I think that price is very high, and you got an injury to your best player right now. So, I mean, I think that's it. In a way, I feel like it lets us off the hook that Janai Broome is hurt, but that's I got to answer the question. So that's my buy, hold, sell.
All right, Jarrell. Buy, hold, sell, Iowa State, Auburn, Duke.
And I'll run this out, and it'll be a lot shorter because Mike kind of said a mouthful about my buy as well too, which is obviously Iowa State again. Like I said, I'm going all in on Iowa State, so we really don't need to rehash that. But I am gonna hold Auburn. I'm gonna hold Auburn obviously because we got a built-in excuse with the injury with Broome, but at the same time, Auburn is a team where I feel like when fully healthy and he's good to go, they're easily or right there with Iowa State is possibly one of the most complete teams in the country. Still been making some impressive performances without Broome. And they got depth, man. They got guys that can play. Miles Kelly, Baker Mazzara, Pettiford. They got guys that can go. So even just without Broome, I think that's a team I'm gonna hold, and then I'm gonna sell on Duke. And again, I'm gonna just kind of reiterate a point, and I'm gonna blame it on the youth. Um, the Cooper Flag is amazing. Um, who's going to be that next guy? From night to night, it changes. Don't get me wrong. It's a credit to how good of a team they are, their depth. But damn, if they could get one of those older guys just to be like, "Yep, here we go." Uh, I'll be Robin. To Batman. I'm gonna consistently get you 15 points a night. I think it goes Flag, and then like the next guy, the drop off is like the next guy's averaging like 12 points a game, and to be honest with you, I think some of the Duke fans got mad at me the last show because I said the same thing, but they were like, man, Proctor's having a career year. But I'm like, well, shit, you got to look in the scheme of things. It's a guy we were talking about was going to be a first-round pick a year and a half or 2 years ago. So it'd be a little bit more, I feel a little bit more comfortable if we can get up to around a 15-point per game range instead of 11 or 10 or 9 or something like that. So that's the only reason I'm selling. Obviously, we're nitpicking here because all three of these teams are more than capable of winning the national championship this year. So,
yeah, the bar
disclaimer.
is really high. Exactly. I agree with your order, though, just for the sake of discussion. I agree with buying Iowa State. I agree with holding Auburn. And I'm selling Duke because could Duke lose its National Player of the Year candidate and look as good as Auburn did against Mississippi State? The answer is no. They could
No
not.
way.
Their guard play is too iffy. Their guard play is too coin flippy. I just don't think they match up in terms of the guard play there. So I will sell
all
Duke
three
again.
of them. All three of them have injuries. All three of them have injuries. I mean, Malik Brown is a crucial part of that defense for Duke as well.
Point,
so
yeah, but again, we're talking about like the three best teams in college basketball. So I mean the